This is John Skillen from IPVM, and I'm here with Blake Urmos, founder of Low Voltage Nation. Blake, great to have you here. Can you tell me what Low Voltage Nation is, and more importantly, why the IPVM community is really interested in hearing about what you're doing at Low Voltage Nation?
Yeah. So first off, John, thanks for having me. This is great. So Low Voltage Nation, I started it because I was in the field and I was doing work, but I wasn't doing great work. And I know what good infrastructure looks like, and I wanted to really step up that game and figure out a way to tie people together, get some experts, interview them on the podcast, look at what they're doing on Instagram and all the social media platforms. So that's kind of where it started was, the podcast. But what Low Voltage Nation really is, it's to help, first and foremost, other people carve out a fulfilling career path in low voltage and technology. But it's also, taking it to the next level and, meeting those standards of excellence, when you do a project and you deliver it to the customer, it has to look good, it has to work, and it has to be documented properly. So we have this really big community of like some of the best in the business, in my opinion, because they showcase their stuff, especially on Instagram. Instagram's like the central hub for Low Voltage Nation. That's where it started. But we brought people together in this great community. It's super positive, lots of knowledge sharing. Community over competition is one of the hashtags we use. So that's kind of the brief genesis and what Low Voltage Nation is. And in terms of IPVM, I heard about IPVM I guess about a year ago, because I was installing cameras, doing a lot of VMSs, a lot of MVRs, doing commercial, residential, and I kept hearing IPVM, and then I got introduced to the calculator tool. So, and I love that thing. I've been preaching and singing its praises, ever since I saw it and I used it, for some projects. But in terms of, why Low Voltage Nation, why IPVM, what is, I don't want to use the word synergy, but it's kind of, it's kind of the thing is that IPVM is the cameras. You guys do a great job with all the reporting and stuff. It's like the de facto reporting, outfit for, surveillance and cameras. And then you have access control stuff. So below that is obviously the low voltage infrastructure, the fiber optic cable and the copper. That's really where we start with the structured cabling stuff, and then we start building out, the access control systems, surveillance, alarms. We do network administration. So we have all these different folks that are in Low Voltage Nation across those disciplines that are, tying it all together with the infrastructure. And then we use stuff like IPVM to really stay, in the know with cameras and all the different things that you guys do. So in my opinion, there's a lot of overlap and a lot of, complementary things that we have going on. And excuse me for the long rant, but I just love talking
No.
about it.
That's good.
Yeah.
So one of the things that you touched on was your presence on social media, and you have, I think like 13,000 followers on Instagram, about the same on Facebook, 900 on LinkedIn, and your podcast, I think you have 66 of them now, somewhere around there. But the thing that really stood out to us was the fact that, and maybe I'm in the wrong groups on social media, but many of the groups that I belong to on, whatever platform it is in social media, when you're trying to look at the best ways to do things and the newest things that are out there, whether it's methods or materials or the combination of both and codes and standards, the groups that I've seen, a lot of it, maybe half, is punching down or condescending remarks about poor installation for either a greenhorn or somebody who hasn't been been afforded proper training, rather than coaching up. And it seems like that's really the big value of your community, is that it's positive and professional.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm not sure if I touched on the big positivity component with Low Voltage Nation, because I come from low voltage, and that you, like you said, you get beat down. If you're a greenhorn or apprentice or whatever,
Right.
a lot of times you're going to get in the field and they're gonna call you out in a very very negative way in most cases, not most cases,
Yes.
but
Creative negative
um,
way, possibly.
yeah, and it's I got tough skin. I've been around the block for a while, but it's just it gets old and it's not productive. So, I really wanted to foster a very positive environment where we can help people, share ideas and feel comfortable and psychologically safe to come into work and learn from some of the greatest, most upstanding people in the industry.
So aside from the positivity, and it's like every social media platform there is you're on, one of the unique things you're doing is, or unusual, is using the addition of Slack. That's something that a lot of other groups on social media are not doing. They don't have a Slack presence. And I've been in your Slack channel now, or group now, and you have dedicated channels for different,
Mm-hmm.
basically different disciplines or domains or endpoints.
Yep.
So if I want to know something about, the first one I looked at obviously was the camera channel. But then beyond that, there's also, structured cabling channel, and I think VoIP or some other channels that are all different disciplines, which I guess this leads into the next thing. So you have your structure for the people that belong to Low Voltage Nation. You have members or followers on social media, and then I guess from top down, we'll start with you being the founder of Low Voltage Nation. And then below you, who do you have? You have ambassadors or consultants?
Yeah, so we have a group of advisors and directors. So they are, kind of, that's the hierarchical structure is, me, I guess, but we're all on the same kind of level at the director level. But below that are the ambassadors. So we have 50 ambassadors, and they use the hashtag low voltage nation. They help other people. Most importantly, that's one of the big requirements. They also attend the ambassador mastermind meetings, and um, and there's a fourth thing, and I forget what it is. But yeah, so we have about 50 people that are in Slack attending the mastermind meetings, getting on the podcast, and they're across mostly the U.S. and a few in Brazil and Australia and Canada. But yeah, so it goes director, ambassador, and then below that we have the gold members, which are the paying members that we just launched about a month ago. And then below that are just regular members. And we also have a Facebook group with 1.3 thousand people in it. And that's kind of like the freebie. So there's a
Okay.
pretty big structure.
So what's the benefit? And I guess before we get to the benefit, there's kind of a fork in the road at gold membership, because there's gold membership for basically what would be integrators, or people that want to benefit from the knowledge of the ambassadors or consultants through Slack and through social media and be part of the community. And then there's also, you have manufacturer, which is kind of the opposite, where manufacturers are vetted and paid to become a gold member. And can you talk about the manufacturer gold membership?
Yeah, sure. So these are companies that we use and trust. We're not just going to take money from anybody. So we have a few that are already on board. Cable and Connections, Atlantic Metro. We just signed up Chatsworth today, which is awesome. So these are manufacturers, suppliers, and vendors that we use and trust on a daily basis. And what they get out of that is we can leverage the buying power of the gold members and the community as a whole to negotiate group discounts, but they also get priority treatment with social media tagging. There's some marketing components to that. They can also sponsor events. They have the opportunity to sponsor events, and there's also the added benefit of getting in the Slack channel and being exposed to all the different integrators. Like you mentioned, most of the people that are signing up for the gold membership are actually integrators, installers, and people that want to get plugged in and actually reap the benefits of the group discounts from the vendors.
Okay. And for the gold membership for the manufacturers, so they're paying a fee to Low Voltage Network, and then as a community service, they're providing discounts on their hardware or their licensing or whatever product they're selling. Is that
Yeah,
how the members benefit?
correct. Yeah, there's promo codes in some cases. Um, there's group buy options. We're really negotiating all these different deals right now. We just launched it less than a month ago, so we're kind of in the infant stages. But that's the idea, is to use the buying power of the group and then pass that discount onto the gold members.
And you just disclosed that you started the gold program a month ago. And Low Voltage Nation, before the gold program, you spent about a year building that, building
Hmm.
the social media presence and the community, and kind of setting the standards. Is that accurate?
Yeah, yeah, I did. I said, let's go really hard in the paint, for a year, build the
Right.
community, provide value because we're constantly showcasing the ambassador's work and giving back to the community. So that was a big thing. I didn't want to monetize until a year of actually, building the community. I still have a hard time asking for money, but we've grown so much, and we're doing events, and it costs money. So that's where we're at right now. But I spent about a year until I monetized.
All right. So you have a hard time asking for money, and you've only been asking money for a month. So this is not a full time gig, right? This is a side hustle,
Yeah, man, you could call it that.
full time
It
hours,
takes
side hustle, full time hours. Is that
exactly
closer?
full time. It's like
I,
10 hours, I would say,
okay.
easy a day. But I work
And
part time here in Tennessee. I do consulting, IT consulting, so I spend a lot of my day in Azure, AWS, just things like that. But I'm doing some project management stuff and a little bit of engineering here and there. That's part time. That pays the bills. But yeah, LVN is bringing in money, but I'm not profitable.
right.
So, yep.
And what did you do? Right now you said that you're working part time as a IT consultant in Microsoft and Amazon cloud services. What did you do leading up to that? What kind of IT background or structured cabling background do you have that
Hmm.
brought you to say, "Hey, I need to do something better here"?
Yeah. So I would say that, as an IT director about 10 years ago, I was more so hiring people to do the structured cabling, and then I would maintain the equipment. So that was back in Akron, Ohio. It's kind of where I started my IT career. But fast forward to moving to Nashville, I started doing hospital infrastructure. That's where I really learned how to do low voltage cabling, structured cabling, terminating, and spending, like 10, 15 hours each day on the road installing nurse call systems in hospitals. And that's where I really cut my teeth. And then I worked for a company for about a year here in Tennessee, doing security systems, access control systems, and cameras. So I was also, doing structured cabling. So I have, probably about 4 years of structured cabling and access control and security under my belt. But it's more so as an IT director, like telling other people what to do. That's kind of my beat.
Okay. So that's what brought you here, and you said you spent a year building it, 30 days asking for money for for membership or for sponsorship or manufacturer discounts. What's your goal? Where are you taking this? What are you
Man,
trying to do with Low Voltage
I
Nation?
got some big goals, man. So build out the gold membership, get as many people on board as possible, but at the same time provide value to them. I think there is a lot of value in people getting in the Slack channel and then attending the mastermind meetings and the events, but scaling that out to thousands of people, who knows? I think there's a lot of opportunity there. But I also want to get on the road with the meetups. So the meetups are a big thing because we started with a 14U data rack. We built that in Nashville. And a bunch of people flew in, a bunch of ambassadors flew in to build out this. It's called the LVN Gold Standard rack. And then we want to continue having meetups, but do stuff like access control surveillance systems, and then plug it into the 14U rack, and then tour around the U.S. and build out the entire LVN Gold Standard across all those disciplines. So that's a big strategy. That's kind of the near term, but there's just so much opportunity with things like bolting onto stuff like Bixby and then other standards and organizations. We're not ignoring them. We're trying to replace them. We're trying to supplement those in some regard. So there's actually a lot of opportunity, in my opinion, to build out those LVN gold standards that we're putting in place. That's probably about 5 years out.
So where Bixby defines those code based standards, the standards that are used all over. You're trying to take what Bixby says and demonstrate that real world, and then even up level?
Yeah, it's really about the teamwork, and planning and documenting. That's really where we shine is coming together as a team and doing successful projects, but adhering to the standards and all the different codes that are already in place. So that's really where we kind of pick up where, in my opinion, something like Bixie would leave off.
And so you talked about the meetups. One thing I think we really glossed over was your mastermind calls. So you have the social media, which is, and, anybody can follow you and become a member there, and then you have the gold membership, which allows you access to the Slack channel. Is that correct?
Yeah. So
Okay.
the gold membership allows you access to Slack, and then you also get the mastermind meetings. So we hold weekly. That's for the ambassadors. Weekly mastermind meetings for the ambassadors, and then we have a monthly mastermind meeting where we bring in people that talk on the hot seat that do topics, like Cisco or Ubiquity. We bring in outside people sometimes, or we have a director or a consultant do a presentation in the hot seat. So we
So
have weekly and monthly.
I was able to attend one of your mastermind meetings on Sunday
Hmm.
night a few Sundays ago, and the topic was ubiquity. And then
Okay.
I
Yeah.
spoke a little bit about IPVM. Do you know what the next mastermind meeting is about and when it is?
Hmm. Yep. It's this Sunday,
Okay.
Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern, and we're gonna do a demo of. It's gonna be internal stuff, so it's gonna be Cisco, but it's not gonna be like them doing a sales pitch. We actually have Brandon Weber and Marco Chafiat. They're both directors and consultants. They're gonna be doing some Meraki stuff, some Cisco Meraki stuff on Sunday.
So are these two gentlemen that are doing the presentation, are they ambassadors?
They started out as ambassadors,
Okay.
and then we carved out because we had so many other things to talk about, like sensitive, like financial stuff and strategic planning, that
Right.
we carved out, directors. So we have 13
Okay.
directors right now, and Brandon Weber and Marco are directors. Hmm.
These guys are out in the field full time installing and integrating.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Marco runs a business, actually Enterprise CC right here. He's out of New Jersey. He
Okay.
does alarm security, structured cabling. And then Brandon Weber, he's in upstate New York or Rochester, and he does MSP work. So he's our MSP
Okay.
subject matter expert.
So with the integrator, I'm guessing it may be small, medium business, some enterprise that he's doing, and then the managed service provider, is he also small, medium business, or is he working with
Yeah,
enterprise and government work?
yeah. Brandon, yeah, he does most. I would say all SMB work,
Mhm.
and then Marco, I know he does. He does residential and commercial. He's all over the map with his offerings.
So that's probably the Cisco line that you're presenting as a small business line.
Well, the Meraki stuff is
Oh,
is getting
Meraki.
up there. Yeah, I think that's more on the enterprise level. Don't quote me on
Yeah.
that, but I should probably know this. But Meraki, I think, is a little bit of a step up because we do a lot of ubiquity stuff, as you already know, and that's
Right.
kind of like commodity, and it's not really enterprise ready. But once we start stepping up, we start putting Meraki stuff on our stacks.
Okay. And so basically, they're going to give a demonstration on how Meraki stacks up, I'm guessing, in comparison to Ubiquity, which was
Yeah,
a few weeks
yeah. I
ago.
think they're gonna drill into some real world scenarios and just kind of go through the interface and also talk about pros and cons. So I think they've been having a couple of little snafus here and there with Meraki. We're gonna discuss those and see if we can come up with the solution as a group.
Okay.
So it's like you guys at IPVM. We rip it apart and we give honest feedback where we can.
Good. Okay. And then for your roadshow, so that's one piece of it. All the social media, and then um, your calls that you have with your the mastermind calls, and then the meetups. You've done one in Nashville, and unfortunately, due to COVID-19, that was it. Right? You just got
Yeah.
one snuck in Nashville before
Right.
isolation and quarantine. Do you have the next city? I know your ambassadors or directors are going to kind of be your jumping off point. What city do we have available to us to ship gear to and have a business,
Right.
like a small business owner in New Jersey to receive it. And he happens to be a director. So maybe something there. Do you have a place picked yet?
Yeah. Well, we're gonna try and do Atlanta again. That was the last one that got canceled. So we're gonna do Atlanta. And then we have a West Coast tour that we're working out. We got Portland, Oregon, San Francisco, LA, and then the East Coast. We might need to flip flop them. So we might need to go up north and East Coast to New Jersey, Cleveland, maybe Wisconsin, and then Fort Lauderdale probably during the colder months. So we got a whole East Coast tour, and we're working out the West Coast right now.
Okay. So if you could leave the IPVM membership or community with anything, that would be the most important value that they could get from Low Voltage
Mm-hmm.
Nation. What do you think that is?
Yeah, like I mentioned, there's so much overlap with, we are the infrastructure, we cover all the structured cabling, and you guys do such a great job on reporting and the calculator tool, like I keep mentioning. There is a lot of opportunity for people that are going into other disciplines like alarms or MSP or network engineering to hop on to our gold membership, or just hop in, maybe to start off with the Facebook group. And since we are such huge fans of IPVM, I think there's a lot of good things that could come from being part of both communities. And I'm sure we're going to cross paths at some point, whether it's a conference or do a collaborative adventure. I think there's just so many good things that you know IPVM current members can get out of Low Voltage Nation. I'd love to have you guys, hang out in our Slack channel or come to the Facebook group, or just, reach out to me. I think there's a lot going on. So it's
And
good.
for the gold membership, I don't think we talked about it. What's the price for gold membership for if somebody's an integrator and they want to join the community?
Yeah. So we're raising the price on July 1st to $29.95 a month. Right now it's $19.95 a month. So if you want to sneak in real quick, but if you get plugged into the community, there's going to be some promo codes, but right now it's going to be July 1st, $29.95 a month.
Okay. And if any manufacturers are interested in contacting you and being vetted for
Mm-hmm.
becoming a vendor gold member, what's that cost?
That's 997 a month or 997 a year for the
Okay.
vendors.
And where can they find that? Any social media and your
Yeah,
website?
it's all over the place, but lvngold.com is
Okay.
the way to start. And then for vendors, it's vendor.lvngold.com.
All right. Well, I appreciate the positivity and
Yeah, always.
sharing and sense of community. It's, again, just what really made us interested in reaching out to you, and I've enjoyed talking to you. So, Blake, thank you for your time.
John, thank you so much, man. Can't wait to see this published, and we'll talk soon. So I really appreciate it.
Great. Thanks.